Good evening, free enterprise fans, and welcome to our first restream of the evening between Alchemy and CSRadical. My name is DinoCat. I am joined here in the booth by Deathlike. How are you doing tonight, Deathlike?
Doing okay. I see a Yang start, so I can see a raging headache as we have the super cannon objective. So, we get it. So I guess we'll have our pan ready.
Sure. We're gonna need that tower key for the super cannon. We also have a ribbon room objective and Livery Baron Castle as an objective, as our supplemental objectives on top of our standard Football Gauntlet, Golbez, Cape Magnus, and Forge.
Yeah. With the Yang start, we'll see some levels as Yang needs all the levels he can get to kind of reach the point where he's not he's just showing up. That's all. I mean, that's all you can ask for is Yang contributing, and all the other half of it is getting some decent claws, because Thunderclaw is where all the fun is at.
Yang maybe will be doing some work for us. Maybe he won't be doing as much work, and maybe we'll just let the other party members do the work. A lot of heroes, I feel like, are either in this hero will do all the work. Like, if you get an Edge or a Kane, it's like, okay, Edge or Kane is going to just do all the work. If you get someone like Edward or Tella, okay, everyone else is going to do all the work. And then there's people like Yang, who are just like, he might do some work, but also he probably will not be doing all the work. Because he needs a lot of help early on, especially at the early game. And even late game, he's good, but not great.
I think when you have certain characters starting, it's fine. It's great when they actually start with you early. I mean, you could certainly try to take advantage of Slingshot when you get the chance, but I find that Yang, when you have from the beginning, he was going to absorb all the XP because C Hero's on. So whether or not he's alive and well or taking a nap, he's collecting all the XP. So there's a fair chance that Yang will be at least somewhat functional for the bulk of the seed.
Yeah, he'll be somewhat functional in the mid game, but he still needs a lot of levels to really get good. And there he is with Porum. Porum is also not a super great early character, but she can help. And we get a magma key, so I guess we can get underground now. Yay!
Some free loot. And free key item. I'm sure both are thinking, oh, nuts! We actually have to go underground.
With a magma start, I'd be inclined to just run straight underground, check out some of the loot underground, check out the shops, grab the Feymarch freebie, set up Sheila 1, maybe see if we can get a Siren and a Coffin to get some early experience. And it looks like CSRadical's headed to Agate to check the shops real quick, and then maybe do just that, as Alchemie's headed to Baron Inn for a little bit of extra looting.
If you're going to do Baron, you're just picking at the character spot for the most part, and you already got the weapon of du jour for Yang and the cat claw. So that means
cat claw's nice.
It might not be the best thing, but for right now, it's the best. It's the greatest of all things because at least you'll have something to punch with the initial weapon. At least it's not a charm claw, which has been often been forgotten.
Charm claw is the one weapon you don't want to see on Young. Ice claw is nice. It'll do good damage versus Rubicant if he shows up, as well as Kinazo when the water is not raised. But we do like seeing that cat claw just to have something non-elemental, and the +5 strength and agility is nice. Not amazing, but it's nice.
It's kind of amazing though when you get it early, even if you get like one.
I'd rather have a power shirt.
That's like saying who doesn't want a power shirt?
I'm just saying power shirt is more valuable than the cat claw for Yang. Since the cat claw has no attack power on it, it doesn't matter really. It's a nice little bit of stat boost, but nothing amazing. It'll get better later. But Catclaw is not, even though it's the best weapon for Young, it's not going to solve all our early game damage problems.
Yeah, its levels will solve pretty much early game damage problems, and that's I think for a lot of berserkers but also so Yang especially, when you reach at least 1k 1000 HP, then at least he starts contributing in a meaningful way. It's so early on, you know, a lot when you, especially when you're looting, you're thinking of, you know, what character can benefit from this. Like you get maybe a Gungnir, or you get a light sword. You know, hey, I want that character, so they'll be contributing some, you know, pretty reasonably for at least the bulk of the game. Yang, you see the cat claw and like, cool, and then kind of move on to the, I kind of still need, you know, another character to kind of move things along. And
yeah, Porum is not really going to be that character, so Alchemie's headed up Hobbs to see if she can't recruit a third character. Definitely don't hate this either before going underground. CSRadical, interesting skipping on the Fire Claw in the Tomra shop. I would want to pick that up. It's a very cheap claw, and it does hit a few good elemental weaknesses. And oh look, there's Palom. Now we have Twin Cast.
But this isn't a Twin Cast. Oh, but yeah, this is very much a boon, especially particularly in this setup where you don't have the kind of the optimal kind of party start, and Palom is a great starting character. Having him this early will make Porum and some bonus twin magics for extra offense. You know, there's plenty to be said about you know, what twin magic can do this early in the game.
Yeah, twin magic is one of the Twin Magic is the best early game ability that doesn't require any levels or any finding any equipment. It's just so good. You can just pick up Palom and Porum, and now with power of Bluff and Twin, they can just cast Flare for 1400 damage, and it's amazing.
Yeah, the Flare kind of ability to do Flare is effectively like a virus. It's not quite as strong, but it's still just as effective.
It's so good.
Yeah,
it is so good during the early game.
And you say, and if you say nice things about virus, you can say nice things about that. And Comet, which is also sort of underrated, good for an AOE. I mean, you're doing more damage than what Palom would do trying to split Comet any sort of magic.
Comet is you're never like upset. I mean, you're upset to see Comet compared to Flare, but Comet is still much better than you'd be doing by doing anything else.
So yeah, free magic is, well, it's still going to cost a lot of MP, but then you're split between two characters. But you never worry about that early. It's not like early game Radia.
You're not, realistically, as long as you're healing up your MP between every fight, you're not going to use like 4 twin casts in a fight.
It doesn't get that long. That's fortunate. Yeah, that's
none
of these
overworld spots have that much health if you're bluffing up properly.
And also, you have to be kind of cute on kind of party order where you want Palom to get selected in terms of the algorithm you want.
I mean, that's just priority slot. You'd put Palom in the higher priority slot right before Porum. Bluff with Palom, twin with Porum. Works every time.
Look, it's interesting to kind of diversion in when to get characters. So Alchemie's now going to the underground, and we'll probably pick up, look over the shops, as having the dwarf set as part of the early game. You can sell like half of your rune rings, and pretty much buy anything that you really wish at this early of game. Especially when you're kept with tier 5 items on the gated shops. So all those three shops, pretty valuable early. You might not find what you want necessarily, but you might find something useful, whether it's sirens or hourglasses.
Hourglasses are nice.
Yes.
There were some guards bouncing behind the wall at Dwarf 1, so we know that that's there. We know the CPU is in the waterfall, so our runners are not going to have to worry about CPU. I did not catch who was at Mist Cave, but I know CSRadical checked it and reset out. And now it looks like he's headed into the Antlion Cave to see what's down here.
Interesting decision.
I don't like this, actually, before checking Hobbs. I know some runners will feel like, oh, if I have a weak party, I don't want to check Hobbs because what if I can't get through the Hobbs boss? My opinion is, no, go to Hobbs. There's a good chance that the character on Hobbs will get you through the Hobbs boss if you have a weaker party because you've already pulled those weaker characters out of the pool.
This is
and if you have a very weak party, this Antlion Cave is not going to be fun for you.
I mean, I think this will be doable. It's just slow, especially because the evil wall is gonna eat up some time, especially with doing so little damage from both characters. I mean, yes, the evil will be dispatched, but not at a.
This is not going to be a terrible fight. Like CSRadical is going to win this fight, but it is not going to be quick at all. Whereas if he went up Hobbs, grabbed the Palom up there, this fight could be over in about 10 seconds.
Yeah, it's one twin cast, and if you haven't killed evil outright, it's just a yang punch away. It's a difference in consuming just time consumption. Sometimes having more, in this case, like we're not is better. There are instances where having less is fine, but you have usually that typically associated with an edge start, and this is not, or at least an edge.
No, in this case, we really do want more party members. That is a Baron key, so we can potentially chase that for another character. However, Alchemie has stopped some Baron guards.
Just having bought some of the those hourglasses, this is going to come in handy. Make this boss effectively free. I mean, knowing that when you know where bosses don't have the boss bit, it's nice to see, and you can always take advantage of it. Of course,
this is going to take a while though, especially since Alchemie has the twins in the wrong order, unfortunately, for the bluff twin strategy.
Yeah. So, I mean, usually in the initial stages, their agility is about the same, but over time, Porum pulls ahead.
Porum does pull ahead, but you can mostly mitigate that just by having Palom in a higher priority slot. But right now, Porum is in the higher priority slot, so I think we're still using Palom's wisdom. Oh, nope, that was Porum's wisdom. This is why you put Palom in the higher priority slot.
Yeah, the realization will happen after the battle, not before.
We're not going to be able to change that for the next battle either. Okay, that one was Palom's, I think.
Yeah, so it's looking like a 50-50.
Yeah, it's a little bit interesting here, since Porum's the one still initiating it, and now Porum is out of MP, so we have no more twins.
That's the moment. It's that moment. Probably needed a refill. And we'll probably get him with a Grimoire. That's the only thing on hand.
I would lean towards that. Might be thinking about saving that for ordeals. Or we can just elixir up Palom and have Palom start casting spells. CSRadical does get through the Mega Sisters, but does lose out on Palom experience, which is a little bit rough.
There is plenty more XP on the Fabul Gauntlet spot, so
there's more experience here, but Palom being a little bit behind isn't great.
Affects twin, not just and other things. So this is you want Palom to reach at least virus so that everything runs smoother. Even then, you also want the second level elementals just to tide things over a bit too. So Palom is kind of a jump starter for any seed, and not having that is kind of unfortunate. Although, unless like something like a Pale Dim shows up and then it's like, okay, well then. Oops.
Yeah, well, Pale Dim we have twin. But there's an Antlion in Fabul, so.
Well, then he has his own. It has its own cave. Why raid Fabul?
It got kicked out of its cave by the wall.
There is no space.
Yeah, the giant wall pushed it out of its cave, and now it's invading Fabul, looking for a new home.
CSRadical also having the same problem with having Porum ahead of Palom in slottage, which
Yeah.
But this is still doable. This spot, Football Gauntlet with a combined HP is still pretty tame. So this is
Not a ton of HP here. We'll get through this reasonably quickly.
And we'll find out. Oh, hey, yes.
That's the Karate Man at Dwarf 2. That's not particularly free. And there's Rydia, which is spooky because I don't know that we have a good way through this fight other than throwing the Grimoire immediately.
Yeah, but this kind of being underleveled and
Oh, that's not the role Alchemy wanted.
That's unfortunate.
That is not the role.
I mean, you have all the summons that the Grimoire could use, except for Jura, and doesn't include any of these specific special monster summons. So that is kind of the worst case. And
yeah, Chocobo is absolutely the worst case scenario there.
Doesn't it also try to avoid some of that?
Yeah, I don't know that Alchemy is going to have a. I mean, I think Alchemy might be able to get through this fight, but it's not going to be fast at all here.
Yeah,
and no one else is getting up.
I don't know if Siren was picked up. Like even if just doing one Siren with an Hourglass would have sped up, both twins significantly enough.
I don't think we saw Hourglasses. Or Sirens, I mean, not Hourglasses. Okay. We did see Hourglasses. I don't think we saw Sirens, though.
Yeah, maybe you're just doing like the trap. No, actually, even doing a trap chest might be probably gambling a trap chest in like this cave might be pushing it.
But that's really rough. You have to get the Hourglass off before they get their turns, and you then have to actually do all the damage, and a lot of those enemies have a lot of health. So it's probably not faster.
It would be an interesting gamble if you get the Toad Lady one, but that's like
that's for 1 in 7. You're
yes.
you're just as likely to find something else first, and you can't really control that.
So some of the damage is going to be not as great. I mean, Yang is in the middle spot, so some accuracy. So there is some accuracy,
yeah.
But Yang is a front row character.
Yang's gonna have reduced damage from hitting from the back row.
I mean,
and I don't think we're gonna get Rydia up because these kicks are coming out so quickly.
And the other problem is by doing this, Rydia not even being up to receive enough XP. I mean, I think actually at this point probably maybe enough XP to get her to.
There's enough experience here to get Rydia to work, but you have to have her alive, and I don't think that's happening.
Yeah, that's the kind of the caveat.
Yeah.
The opportunity is there, except it's just not a good opportunity.
She does get through Dwarf Castle. What a wild first key item check.
It better be good.
No one gets experience from this second spot, unfortunately, other than Yang.
And Yang would have gotten the XP anyways, even if he took a nap. So that's kind of, it's one of those.
Yeah, I mean, if the Grimoire had rolled better, maybe. Like, if we'd rolled Bahamut on that Grimoire, great.
I mean, it's hard to rely on a strictly RNG-based item. That's just the way things roll. And I mean, actually, worst case would be Odin, and then it would automatically be nothing.
All we get is the pass, which is nice, but not the early value that Alchemy, I think, was hoping for out of Dwarf Castle.
Some DKC. This is, I think the Baron Inn. So this is
Baron Inn 1. Not particularly scary here. We're not going to wait for 3 waves. We're just gonna knock him down.
Yeah, the guards combined for a little bit over 400 HP, which that's easily one hit. But the Val is not as threatening here. The spot has 0 magic defense, so Palom will still do Palom things.
We can bluff and twin through this Val.
That is always the preferable option, especially with.
Although, okay, that works. That's 1,000 damage. We'll take that. And this Val is relatively slow, so we should be able to get through this. Maybe, might be a little bit sketchy.
It's fine. As long as Palom's wisdom is rolling, still is rolling, which is fortunate. The only thing is making sure that the twins are still up. After the not being punched, after the week. I mean, but so all it takes is one punch when you're at a week, and that's it.
Yeah.
Doesn't take much. So, and especially this spot, the punches hit pretty hard, as you can see. Yang, he's kind of already almost going down.
Yeah, Yang is not going to be able to take another punch. But that's Val down. Not enough defenses here at Baron N2 to really pose a threat. So CSRadical gets Tella on his team and a tower key, which is another thing to do once we get underground. So that'll be very nice.
We do actually have underground access. But that would probably be the first thing to do.
Radical went underground right away, grabbed the Fame Arch freebie, and then said, "I'm done with underground. I'm going back to the overworld because these checks are easier."
I think would you see Baron or CSRadical Prime might do Antlion, but right now
Radical did Antlion. Antlion's where the Baron key came from.
Right. So I guess we'll do Baron right now. Kind of, it's in sequence in terms of difficulty. You want
it's not much harder than the Baron in, and it does provide another character check as well, which I think Radical would be eager to find, because right now this is a party of potatoes and Palom.
But Yang.
Oh, Yang is a potato. Oh. He doesn't have enough levels yet.
He's trying. He's
trying his best, but it's not good. Not good enough. Palom is the only actual really power character on this team right now.
And some extra looting, it makes sense because we
may as well. It's right there, and the loot here is decently high tier.
Yeah. But of course, while we have T Waldish on, caps of our the items are max tier 5. So, but you still have some decent equipment. As those are kind of foundations for endgame equipment anyway. So we're not. Yeah. So we're not. It's not like it's I've seen enough seeds where T standard or something, or T standard is on or something, and is it T standard? The loot I'm getting is kind of garbagey. So I'm happy I'm still getting tier 5 equipment. If it was tier 4, I'd be very afraid. So this is fine.
I mean, tier 5 is definitely equipment that you can take to the end game. Alchemie, do want to note, does have a Leviathan orb for that Rydia, so we'll be able to have Leviathan Rydia online pretty soon. Just needs to get her a little bit of experience.
Yeah, I think that requires the level 9 level.
It does not require much experience. Yeah,
it's at least easier.
Get through Fabul defense and we'll be fine.
I mean, just one car wash after a fight. That's all you can ask for.
But yeah, Alchemie is headed through the Sylph Cave to set up Sheila 1 as Radical has entered Baron Castle. We're gonna fight this Asura that gave us our starting mag key. Because we're upset about being able to go underground right away. We want her to take that back.
I mean, all is fair in love and war. But this is I mean, it's nice getting that access early, especially with this team. Having that early access does help in such you get more of the tools you get to
downsides of putting up double wall on Asura is Flare is reflectable. Comet is not, but Flare is reflectable, so that twin cast not going well.
Yeah, it's one of those things. It's funny that the fight normally here would be Baigan, and Baigan only uses Paul, and that makes twin ineffective. Well, at least the half of it. So it's one of those things where the use of it here doesn't quite work out. Probably want to consider more towards life lock instead. If you really want to use twin, that would be the way to go.
Yeah, I would say, I mean, you could bet on common. I would honestly say just bluff Palom up a lot, don't do anything. And then use a twin cast after bluffing up a whole bunch. You'll probably do 3,500, 4,000 damage, and from there it's finish this off.
I mean, you do get with the when you do the double Star Veil thing, you can just use that reflect. That's on.
Well,
in this
you
case,
can't reflect twin cast.
No, but you want to use Palom after bluffing just to use that wall that you started with. I mean, that's no, not an ideal way, but you do need to bluff a bit because you don't want to waste too many turns. Casting multiple spells. You want to just get it all in one.
Say you bluff up a bunch. Take like put one of your walls up. And then throw out the twin cast for 3,500 to 4,000 damage. Throw up the other wall to get Asura to then wall Asura after that, and then you can just beat down the last few hundred hit points.
Not trying to bluff Pelham at all, which is an interesting decision, especially because we start with at least in the flag set, you get the dwarf kit, and that you have essentially rune rings, so you have. All the characters in the current party are set up to essentially defend against this particular boss. So you're being punched is not a threat. So you can bluff at will and not be scared of.
Asura doesn't punch you unless you hit her. The biggest thing here, it's like you can take as much time as setup time on Asura as you want, because she will not attack you until you attack her. Completely safe in that way.
Also, reflected spells will not trigger the counterattack to boot. So you can kind of bide your time. You can do some interesting stuff like use it like double slow before you start doing the double wall. Just to I don't
think we need the double slow though, but that is this Asura fight is just rough, and unfortunately you can't exit from the Baron sewers, Radical. You have to walk out.
Yeah, this. Magical barriers in Baron.
This fight gets much easier though once Palom learns Virus, and Radical should be able to get that by going up ordeals, just from the experience up there, which is where Alchemie is right now, actually.
Yeah, you get it. I mean, with the characters you have, you want Tela online. So the idea behind this makes a lot of sense. You want Tela's full utility unlocked, and here's the place, and you get the XP you need just to get to Virus, and ideally Quake.
Oh, we're not getting to Quake here.
No, probably not. But I think Alchemie.
There's absolutely no way Ordeal's experience gets you to Quake.
By itself, no.
Alchemie maybe because of the Dwarf 1 boss, Dwarf 1 experience. Alchemie's already got Virus. Yeah, Alchemie's already got Toad, so Alchemie will probably get Quake here on the mountain.
Yeah, so sometimes in the order in which you do things, you just need to collect as much experience for especially Porum, because at this point she's going to be your primary white mage. So and she needs the levels.
Level her up as much as you can. Although Palom also really needs the experience, at least until he gets Quake. Once he's got Quake, it's a little bit more okay, but you still want to get him as much experience as possible to get up to Nuke.
It's kind of streamlined. Once you get Quake, it's like, getting the level 3 elementals is still a boon because that will be
nice. It's not really important.
It's true. It's there if and when you need it. So it's one of those there are times where
I love that one Grey Bum having just enough HP that it could hang on long enough for Alchemie to revive Rydia before its HP ran out. Truly amazing Grey Bomb. Thank you so much.
Just holding out. Just hold out a little more. Could have gone a different way where Rydia doesn't get revived, so it's just could be just as well.
Yeah. May as well get the Rydia a little extra HP, and here's Rubicon. Great. All we have to do is cast Ice 2, and we win.
Might lose some time because of the being the back attack, so I might not even get enough time to get there. So, but Alchemie's hoping to get the Ice 2 in.
We're gonna get a slow off first, which will help out.
that helps a lot. Slow, especially even this spot is. I think it's actually not unreasonably fast. It's just you want that. Right now, it's really just to get the ice 2 off, as it takes time, a bit of time.
There goes Rydia. Good night, Rydia. We do have an Ice Claw on Young, but it's not necessary. Palom gets the ice. Oh, it is necessary. The ice 2 is not enough. So Young has an Ice Claw going to Power Punch. We'll probably finish this off.
Yeah,
and I think Radical just took a wipe to an egg.
Well,
it's okay. We're in Lower Babel, fighting through some trap chests here. These aren't worth much experience, but they could have some nice weapons in them. Yeah, eggs can be very scary if you don't have hourglasses or coffins. Or Quake.
You can do some creative stuff with stop. I mean,
you can stop them and get through them, but they can be a little bit rough without that.
Yeah. I mean, there were hourglasses in the dwarf shop, so probably CSR didn't take a peek there, as would have found that out.
Ooh, and unfortunately, magic's not going to work on these alerts. They have enough magic defense that most things aren't going to really do any damage.
It's near max magic defense. That's essentially behemoth stats.
Basically, you can nuke them, and that's about it.
Nuke or above. Well, Leviathan is the bare minimum.
Leviathan can do a little bit of damage. Nuke is what you really want. We get a single Ninja Star from Mount Ordeals, and Bahamut's up here, which I guess Bahamut will just die because Young's already got over 1,000 hit points.
I told you, 1,000 HP. Yang's starting to contribute. I mean,
he's starting.
I mean,
Palom is still better.
That is true. Well,
Palom is still so much better.
But you did see that one punch on Ruby could have actually just done it. Could have just done it in one hit. That would have that essentially would have been the spot's HP pool anyway. So that but that's only if you can get a weakness, and Ruby has a weakness. So that's when she exposes it, let the damage numbers roll in.
Yeah. Yeah, but Alchemie is definitely in the lead in the levels department, with having done that first spot of Dwarf Castle. Young has enough levels to really pack a punch. Palom is online. Rydia is basically online. Radical, meanwhile, is going to try and get through this Ogo Pogo. This Ogo should be doable. The Ogo does not counter Twin Cast, even if that Twin Cast didn't kill it.
Yeah, it's Ogo does react to magic, but it does. But because this game is wonderfully coded, the essentially magic that is Twin isn't reacted to. It's
Twin Cast isn't magic for some reason.
Well, it's like also the same thing with Recall with Tella. If you haven't gone up Ordeals, that is also one of those things. There's things that should be considered, like physical attacks, like jump or or Yang's power.
They're not the fight commands. They don't count.
Yeah, it's just okay for that particular command.
Radical done with the super cannon objective. Has one objective done. We'll see. Looks like he's leaving behind the top of tower. We'll see if he ever comes back to that. I would consider checking it to see if it's free, but I guess we are just in too much of a rush. We're just moving on. Alchemie, meanwhile, headed over to the Antlion Cave to take care of that. We'll give her access to Baron, and I think she's in a better position to take out the Asura very quickly.
Yeah, I mean, the levels of wit when you do things do make a difference. So sometimes, I mean, obviously in the early case, having another character in form of Palom would speed up the evil wall fight, but levels also are a solution to many things in this game.
Yeah. Looks like Radical gets the final key in the key collector for the key ring out of the tower key. So let's see. Our Magma key is in Baron. Our tower key also came from Baron. The Baron key leads us to Baron, and the Luca key came from the tower key, which was from Baron. All of the keys are connected to Baron.
Baron has all the keys. That's how that's how they dominate. That's how the Red Wings
Why
dominate
is
everything.
why is the Baron key the one key that isn't found in or through Baron? This feels wrong.
That's how people leave their keys. It's not literally
I guess
outside.
that makes sense. They, instead of hiding the key to the castle under a rock in their yard, they went over and were like, "Here, we'll hide the key in this random cave, that's off on the other side of our neighboring kingdom."
Hey, we can make another key anytime we want. It doesn't matter. It's fine. No one.
It's fine.
No one's gonna figure it out. That's
Yeah,
that's
they
how,
have the keys to everywhere else. They just don't have the keys to
your own home. No.
to their own home. Yeah. We do see Mad Ogres here for Radical. With that Charm Claw, we can tear through these Mad Ogres pretty efficiently.
Yeah, it's when you hit a racial multiplier, your attack power will multiplied by 4, and that's
quite
a lot.
good. And oh boy, it's a big stick.
Is the follow-up question is he eaten in the seed?
I mean, we know he is in the seed. All the characters are in the seed. Will he show up early? Is the real question. We already know he's not at Dwarf Castle for Radical, but he could be at Baron Castle, which is also available at the moment.
I mean, stumble onto it sooner or later. This Black Cat Lammy fight, that is usually
Black Cat Lammy are rough, actually. They are. Charm has nothing against them. They don't really care. They're like, okay, yeah, whatever. We're not weak to that. And if we don't kill the Black Cats in one shot, goodbye, Young. It's bedtime.
I know it's like a 50-50 for Bluster to do its thing, but it always feels like take a nap. So it's one of those things where you could probably gamble with Tella using Charm and hope the Black Cat annihilates each other with Bluster. It's a nice feature where the way to kill it sometimes is to be clever, and Charm can get you there.
Meanwhile, Alchemie is headed through Baron Inn. This should be pretty straightforward. My only wish is that Alchemie put Yang in the front row. But yeah, we can tear through this. Hopefully Alchemie remembers that, hey, I can hit this with spells.
I mean, you kind of, like, if you didn't know any better, you just cast magic until you can't. So, we'll stumble onto,
we're casting Leviathan, so we'll find out. There you go, Alchemie. You can hit this thing with the Quake. Or Virus, or whatever. And Virus will do. We blocked up once, so...
Probably didn't even need the Berserk. It's only 4,000 HP at the spot.
We are through Baron Inn for Alchemie, which will give her tower key, which we know leads to the Luca key that she needs for to get the sealed cave item, since she has already done Dwarf Castle and was not able to work.
The Mad Ogre fight is going a little better, although kind of the best thing to do for Mad Ogres, especially after going through Mount Ordeals, is using size. And of course the Todd smells. That is the you gotta announce it to the world. That's how the things do things in Baron.
Yeah, but Alchemie is now headed into Baron as CSRadical has reacquired the Crystal Sword and is going back in for the Black Cat Lamias.
Interesting attempt to gamble. I mean, the damage from Comet would be enough as long as it hits on Palom.
Yeah, Flare is not going to cut it.
Because that's
unfortunately. I would really love, if you're doing this, to see a save after the Mad Ogre's chest.
Yeah, that path, right tower path leads immediately to outside. So if you're
I
not
would
sure,
say
just go outside.
Just
leave.
skip the Black Cat Lamias for now. They're rough. Leave them alone. Take the Mad Ogre's Crystal Sword because it could be useful. Move on. But it looks like CSRadical has decided to move on from Eblan Castle and is now headed to Mount Ordeals. This should be quite doable for him. I don't think he's going to have any issues on Mount Ordeals. We'll get through this, get some extra levels at least. As Alchemie's headed to Baron.
Probably will have a better time. Tell us online so it can cast a direct wall.
We can cast wall directly onto Asura, and we have Quake and Leviathan, which go through wall. So there's no worries about that.
Wall. I mean, not a spell that you want to take too much advantage of until unless you have a Golbez, which Star Veils are essentially mandatory. This is it's kind of
Wall is one of those spells that's not it's super useful against very specific bosses. It's not usually one of your go-to essentials, but it is super useful against specific bosses like this Asura, where you can cast Wall on her and then she doesn't get any other healing spells, or Golbez, where you can reflect his spells back at him, or Wyvern or Bahamut.
And with Wyvern in this flex set, we have Witchburn, so we don't even know if the spell is reflectable. So if it was normal Wyvern...
Yeah, normal Wyvern. With Witchburn, it's a little bit more... whatever. But yeah, Alchemie's through that. Asura, we'll see who's on the throne, and oh boy, the King of Baron was actually...
All Gauntlet. It is.
17 monsters in a trench coat. Let's go.
And we will stumble upon Senator Crocodile, and I think in the fourth.
He's in one of these fights.
I've measured, and it's I at some point I decided, especially with the all gauntlets in the Baron spots, to kind of learn where Senator Crocodile is going to show up, because it's like a parade. You have to keep track when the senator shows up.
Yep. Our first fight was just a couple of Hydras and a guard. Now we have 2 Hydras.
I think Quake is a little overkill, but then we can...
Yeah, I think for this fight, we don't have enough MP to Quake every fight in this gauntlet, so I would be looking for fights to cast Virus on instead. Early on in this gauntlet.
The only time you need to cast Quake is if your virus splits too much.
Yeah, but these first 2 fights you could definitely virus. Probably this fight as well, you could virus away.
It's the Aqua Worm that has the bulk of the HP, so that's the only time when you would
that's the one where I would actually have to cast Quake. But I think we had enough MP at the start that we'd only have to cast Virus twice.
It's fine. Overkill is fine.
It's fine as long as you have the MP, which Alchemie unfortunately does not.
There probably might be an elixir still around.
I mean, there's always Leviathan, I guess, but that's much slower.
Hey,
we'll wipe out the fight in one shot. It's just slower.
Yeah, and CSRadical takes down Ruby, no issue. And well, Porm being down, that's it's whatever. Still need need to get on through and just learn fires. So
that's progress. Iris will help a lot.
There's when you're looking at Palom or even Rydia, you always kind of try to learn what levels when they learn.
What are their big breakpoints, basically? Yeah. It's for Rydia, Virus is 26, which is very late, and then there's not another big breakpoint till 50 when she learns Nuke. Because by the time she learns Quake, it's too late for Quake to be super useful. Palom, it's 19 for Virus, which is fine. 23 for Quake, which is real nice. Virus is still a little mini breakpoint on the way to Quake, but he learns Quake so early that it's super useful. And then 52 for Nuke, which is okay, whatever.
So briefly, Alchemie tried to use it Ether 1. Unlike a lot of the later
You have to actually wait a little
yeah.
bit. You have to let a tick pass outside of battle, outside of the menu before it'll register. That is Alchemy through the gauntlet, and we have Kane.
Great. We've already fought Val, and probably at this point, not.
Alchemy says no to Kane. That is spicy. I mean, I guess if we haven't found Sirens yet, I could see saying no to Kane here and just trying to grind up this party on D machines.
I mean, the value of Kane is very different, especially in terms of the end game. It's not like Kane is the hero here, so that's the
Kane is fine for end game. The reason I would like Kane is because Kane is fast and can outspeed Yang and can do decent work. He's not amazing by any means, but he's still a decent Zerker. And we get a Baron or a pink tail from liberating Baron Castle, as well as the objective. So you can't fade Baron forever this seed. You're going to have to do it.
But fading Baron?
No, it's an objective.
Oh, nuts.
It's an objective, and the gauntlet was there, which means that's 2 objectives. And we're only allowed to skip 1.
I mean, you can't complete a seed without doing Baron, essentially. So that's just the way the seed rolled.
Yeah.
Radical.
Well, it looks like Radical is headed back now with Virus to do a Siren. I don't hate that.
I mean, want to get Quake? That's really
getting up to Quake is definitely really valuable. Even getting closer to Warp, although Tella has Warp now.
It's nice to have the option available. Though, especially if Tella for some reason consumes all the MP. Not likely, but you know. Always
if Tella runs out of MP, you just go to the inn and warp backwards from the inn.
Yeah, it's a nice caveat behavior from how Warp works. It's something you don't really consider. It's like, why would I go? How am I able to get back to the crystal room with Warp? How does that happen?
It just takes you back to the previous screen that you've been on.
And the intentional kill, I think it's intentional kill for Tella because we don't want Tella to gain levels.
I mean,
it doesn't really make a difference.
Do we care? I don't think we care. Normally, I get the instinct to knock Tella down because Tella, Tella is used as an anchor character and he doesn't really gain a lot from levels. But at the same time, it's the hero. Tella's not our anchor. We don't need to keep him down to keep him slow. I'd actually be inclined to keep him up just to make sure that he has some hope of ever getting turns.
Well, he needs to survive a hit, so that means levels.
Yes, and which means we need to keep him up.
Yeah. Yeah, that's like when especially when C Hero is on having
Tella got punched, so yeah, that was unintentional.
That happens. It's not critical. It's not critical, but
it's the
nice.
Best person to go down. Tella is absolutely the best person to go down there. It's just not ideal, not great.
I mean, in terms of the end game, if you still have a Tella in the party, if he just if he's alive to just get a turn to do something, it's a success. At least I would call it a success.
Yes, definitely. Tella has. We do not have very high expectations for Tella in the end game.
Hoping Alchemy will probably go all the way since you're not Keyless Tower.
Alchemy will go up with her levels, already having access to Quake and Blink. But, although we may have wanted to heal up because Rydia and Tella are about to fall over.
Too late. Although might be enough time from the delay of charging up the attack that might be able to get a life, but it doesn't seem
I don't think we care
priority.
That much. This is not a very high experience spot. It's just get through the Ogopogo.
I mean,
again, would love to see Yang in the front row. Because he is doing much less damage in the back row than he could be in the front. And none of the other characters care about row because they're all casters, and if you're casting a spell, it doesn't matter what row you're in.
Yep. Punching in as a thing. Did you have to? We have the back row glitch enabled. Just that Yang doesn't
have any weapons that have the back row bit, which makes sense because he's a a monk who uses his fists. He doesn't use anything that can extend the reach of his arms because, I mean, his weapons are his actual fists.
I mean, maybe maybe someday there'll be a claw that lets him do long reach. That would be the day, but not this game. There are ways of getting the back row bit enabled on Yang, but
you have to use the steal glitch with Edge, which is if Edge steals an item, then if you're on the next character ready to equip it, you can equip that item if it is a new item and not getting added to a stack of them in your inventory. So you can steal a charm harp, and if Yang with Edge, and if Yang goes next, he can then equip it, and then it will count as being equipped, and it will give him the back row bit. But we get some very spicy information, as that is a demist at Ruby, which means there is a hook route on the key, which means the hook route gates a key item, and Baigen is at the top of tower.
If that is darkness, then that would be super spicy. But at least our runners had the magma key to start with, so that preparing for the fight is not an issue. But
I would almost rather have to do it as a hook route, so that like, okay, I had to do this. Like, I had to get through this demist at Ruby. Sure, it's rough, but at least I have my demist done.
That also true. But right now, at least for alchemy, having
if we have a hook, we get an atom armor. This is also good logic.
So we pretty much have the tools to pretty much wipe out the arms, as they usually contribute to a lot of the effectiveness of Baigen. But Baigen is and Leviathan, so you've got
Baigen's having a bad day basically, which is rare. Usually it's the party that has a bad day when they meet Baigen, but this time Baigen's gonna be the one having a bad day.
I mean, this spot isn't too shabby, but it's really just a lot of HP shuffled onto 3 different parts. Though I don't think the arms will have too much, but still, you'll get a small arm grind. But let's be serious. No one's getting arm grind.
Experience. It doesn't matter.
But arm grind, I like arm grind.
Yeah, they give no experience. I think at some of the highest experience spots in the game, they give 7 whole experience every time you kill them.
At least, I'm more excited of orb grind, but we're not. But orb is a
orb's at waterfall. It's not at a high enough experience spot for us to orb grind.
It's true, but one day, the rebirth of orb grind. One day.
Maybe in a different seed.
Yeah, not this seed, but
definitely not this seed.
So we'll see CSRadical decide to take Kane. Probably might be thinking of it.
We'll see. He doesn't have the Rydia, so we'll take the Kane. Doesn't really have a choice there.
That's fine. I mean, keep collecting Rydia literally essentially a vanilla spot to collect her. Kind of one of those somewhat spicy options. Though there's no reason maybe to get rid of Tella. That'd be the only reason to do it, and I'm not even sure that's a good idea. Because it's nice to have a second blink caster around, as Alchemie is demonstrating. Having a second one makes life a lot easier, especially for fights where a lot of punchiness is commencing.
Yeah. But yeah, Alchemie is, I don't think, going to have too tough a time getting through this fight. Kane, it looks like we have a fire sword for Kane. Oh boy! He's going to do so much damage with that fire sword.
Only slightly better than the dwarf axe you start with.
Yeah.
But that darkness...
there's darkness at top of tower, so it's time to... I guess we can demachine now. Great.
I think it's still worth peeking at the moon to see...
Yeah, I know. I think we peek at the moon to see if Cecil shows up. Like, if Cecil shows up, we go to Eblan Castle, see if there's a good sword.
We know a
which
good
we
sword
know
is
there's a good sword, but Alchemy doesn't know there's a good sword.
and I mean, there's also a good chance to do the hairdryer's chest
Yeah.
nearby too.
We do have hourglasses, and that would not be a terrible place to use one. The Barren Basement is completely free, as it turns out.
Yeah, probably try to peek that spot, but maybe but having the spot being free means an opportunity to get Kane slingshotted to something decent.
Something approaching reasonable levels, yeah. It's not a ton of experience at this spot, especially if we quake away the soldiers. The officer will run away with about half the experience. But it'll work. And Kane's not even gonna get the experience unless we light him up real quick.
There's a delay. There's a reasonable enough delay to get the life potion thrown off, but
nope,
never mind.
He's already gone. No Kane experience. Not that it was much experience anyway. And what do we get for Barren Basement? Nothing.
Hey, do you have Hansa Steel Wielder? That's what that's saying. I don't think we've found a lot of Hansa Steel so far. So
yeah, I don't know. I don't remember exactly what we found, but
the Ninja
Sword is not anything to be excited about. But yeah, Alchemy is headed down the sealed cave to see if this warp glitch would have paid off for her, whereas Radical is headed to Dwarf, maybe to try and take advantage of the warp glitch. Although Radical does not have warp yet on Palom, has it on Tella. But yeah, Ninja Swords are also for sale in a shop, so we're not super excited to get one for free.
Wait, but the whole point of looting is to get stuff for free. I like free stuff. You can.
Well, yeah, but we didn't really care about getting one for free if we had to fight a whole boss for it.
That is also true.
If we had gotten it for free from like
a treasure chest,
a random treasure chest, sure, absolutely. We love free stuff from treasure chests.
So, I mean, Alchemy is doing the peak. Just want to find out the key item is to see if this is
we'll see if this key item is worth the walkout. Alchemy does know that D-Mist can't be down here, but we'll also have to check the boss just in case this is Golbez down here as well.
Yeah, it's twofold. It's the boss check and the key item check.
And the key item check. That was missed. Value this is. I mean, we have to take out anything that chains into another key item, but that's a Dragoon Lance. We don't need that.
Still would want to peek the boss spot regardless, so this is not like normally you don't check it unless there's a boss.
We'll take the boss anyway, but like while we're here. But it's just Mylon Z. I think Alchemy is leaving the sealed cave. Yep, we're just gonna reset back out to our save outside the sealed cave and move on.
So CSRadical is gonna have a much easier time having Quake online, where Alchemy did this very early, in risky play, but had hourglasses, so it's a very...
and that's unfortunate. I think Tella tried to use a Grimoire and got turned into a pig, and the Grimoire whiffed.
Was it Odin?
No, it was a Leviathan, but if you try to use a Grimoire as a pig, it doesn't work.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, just the way Grimoire, it's specifically the way Grimoires are coded, is that if you try to use it as a pig, it will show you what it would have rolled, but no matter what you roll, it won't work.
Right, it's a status effect, but that's usually tied to the summon, but it's probably more effective how it's like it's curious at like the Grimoire itself, because the Grimoire is considered a spell, not a summon, even though it uses a code that triggers a summon. So it's an
item that triggers a summon to happen. So you can use the item part, but then the summon still checks that, oh hey, you're a pig, this shouldn't work.
Yeah, it's interesting how these two things are tied together, and you understand. While you be surprised, wait, why didn't it work? Oh, it's a particular interaction, and that's what makes this game special. The interaction between
there
things.
There are so many fun interactions. CSRadical finds the Rydia. looks like doesn't care about the Rydia. We don't need Leviathan Rydia.
Well, in this late of a seed, it's very...
We've got Kane with a fire sword. And there are sirens on the moon! Huzzah! We did it, we found our sirens.
Well, we can buy hourglasses and then do... If we don't want to do the D-Machine grind...
we have gold dragons,
yeah.
we could do eggs reasonably quickly. Palom, I think, Quake will take out an egg. Eventually, Virus will start taking out eggs, or we could just buy...
Buy all the sirens.
Buy a bunch of sirens. Those are good. We have 12. That's it, plenty, I think. Not enough to get Rydia nuke with 10 key items, not quite, but it's definitely a good start.
I mean, this part, when we have a mage-heavy party, and we all lovingly call Yang a punch mage because he also needs levels. So
yeah,
this fully
Alchemie literally only has mages. There's no one that's not a mage here. It's
beautiful. But we'll definitely need the levels, but we'll probably at least peek what's here first.
Yeah, I think we peek some stuff. I would be surprised by peeking the moon character first, just to see who that is. Because again, that could be someone who is very useful.
Like a Fu.
Could be Fu, could be Cecil. There's a Elements fight there. We're not going to fight that yet. I don't think we have all the good gear.
Well, it's not necessary. We don't know if it's required. It's not required. So we're not really thinking about. We wanted to peek to see if it was actually gold-based at the very minimum.
It's not required, so we can skip it for now. CSRadical does get that Dragoon Lance and is able to take it without having to fight the Mylanthi down in the sealed cave.
Easily an improvement over.
So yeah, that'll be actually good for Kane. An actual weapon for Kane. And is now headed back to Keyless Tower because it's that or the Fey March in order to get the access to the moon. And that's a Sid on the moon. I don't think we want him.
Yeah. Yang does a lot of the same stuff Sid does. That's
but Sid is slower.
That's
other problem. Alchemie says no thank you to Sid. We're gonna stick with our mage team.
So now is I guess it's to do the vanilla ribbon room. I think
we're gonna see where Alchemie goes. Alchemie is diving into the moon.
There is one hourglass, so there's probably at least one attempt to grind. I mean, we
might just stumble across the free boss that can get us started on the moon. And we do have 2 blink casters, so the moon isn't the worst.
I mean, there's plenty of XP from the bosses. Obviously, have not reached double XP. Only.
Yeah, we only have 7 key items, so we're not at the double experience threshold yet, nor are we close to it. So I think we'll probably take on the ribbon room, then start fanning out from there, seeing what we can do, and what bosses we can do and what bosses we can't. Taking on the ones we can, hopefully, and ignoring the ones we can't. But this will be a decent source of levels and potentially key items. And then once we get to 10 key items, Alchemie will be able to grind up.
CSRadical taking on the Baigan at the Dr. Lulu spot. So
Radical will have an extra Zerker, which is nice, but is not down that extra Leviathan damage.
I mean, well, you only need one character to control the arms, so that's going to be.
It's not a huge deal because he still does have Quake on the Palom. And Young is in the front row, so he'll be able to do full damage.
You always want full damage, Yang. Full punch mage mode.
I am really hoping that Alchemie remembers to swap Yang to the front row at some point.
I feel like maybe just the additional accuracy bonus will offset some of that, but a
little bit, but it does not offset the whole back row penalty.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
The back row penalty is like 50% accuracy, and I guess we take this fight. Sure, this fight doesn't matter though because it's the ribbon room. It's King Queen at the ribbon room. Hooray! Free 100,000 experience.
So basically, let's let the scene happen. Take 3 hits from both.
Yeah, 3 fire
bosses.
2s.
Yeah.
That's all we have. We're just gonna sit here until they cast fire 2 3 times. And then they'll go away, and they'll give us 100,000 experience for free, which is great for alchemy.
This is a good reprieve. I mean, considering you don't really want to take on any LSD spot without having gotten a little bit more levels than what we see here. So
yeah, we're definitely not at the levels to be dealing with the moon. So having something free up here is very nice.
And as part of the script, because the king has disappeared, the queen will disappear as well. That's so.
Yeah.
Normally, if you had to
100,000 experience, 5-6 levels for everyone, which is very nice.
It is a nice chunk of levels. I mean, 5 levels for all our mages is constructive.
Yeah, there's that ribbon room objective complete. Alchemy gets a Dragoon Lance and a Masa, which are not key items, but we'll take them, I guess. That gives our runners Dragoon Lance parity.
Do we need? That's not the parity.
Because that's definitely a very important thing at all times, is to have Dragoon Lance parity.
No, not Crystal Sword parity. Dragoon
Lance parity is the new thing we have to track. But yes, each of our runners now each have 1 Dragoon Lance. Alchemy does have better ninja stuff, though.
We still don't have a ninja.
To answer question in chat, we have seen Val. Val was at Baron in 2. And oh look, it's Wyvern. Alchemy says no.
But hasn't even spit out anything yet.
I would wait for the Witchburn. I agree. That Wyvern is not actually that terrible.
I mean,
it could have been Retreat, it could have been Explode. Either of those gets you through the fight instantly. That spot doesn't have great magic, so you could get through it rather quickly.
Well, I mean, but the Wyvern script does.
Yeah, the Wyvern script does, but the initial Witchburn isn't going to be very powerful. And I mean, you can probably get Yong Berserked and start casting things. I mean, you're not going to be able to use Goliath in there, but... Or we could get an Hourglass off against these Dark Imps, and I hope we still have an Hourglass.
It's a prime spot to get the HP glitch, the life glitch going. So this is probably the thing.
Yong just needs to survive. Okay, Yong survived. That's all that matters.
It's in these fights, especially when with the high agility that the monsters do.
I like this. Now that we've stopped them, we're going to cast Toad on them, because, well, Stop does not persist through a life 2. Toad will persist through a life 2.
And so it's time to do some we're gonna do some damage, or we're gonna do some weak. Try to use some weak, because Tella should be able to get it off, although off slot not entirely guaranteed.
Off slot is a little bit rough, but
it should be pretty reliable.
It's not as bad as stone.
Oh, well, the stone is a
and you can't life glitch if they're stones, so we definitely want to be doing weaks if we're going to be life glitching rather than stone.
Well, you can do other sorts of glitching with stone, and not of the positive type. You could. Yeah,
we don't want to. We don't want to do stone. We want to cast weak here if we're going for life glitches.
But this is a good place to. Well, this is a good boss setup. The Yogo spot, plenty of XP to go through. So
yeah, this is going to be a nice extra bit of experience here for Alchemy. Definitely could help out with that Wyvern fight.
Yeah, but, I mean, maybe you want to be more confident. And there's only a few spells in that Wyvern has, like actually rolling. Actually, can the Mega Nuke actually be rolled?
No.
Okay.
You cannot roll Mega Nuke.
So I guess the only closest thing would be Globe 199.
Globe 199 is single target, so it's fine.
So
there's not the worst multi-target thing is probably light.
Yeah, but Meteor is not part of that spell set.
Can't roll Meteor, can't roll Big Bang, can't roll Zetetsuken. Oh hey look, it's a hook. We have an adamant armor now.
Yay!
Once we go back to the blue planet, we get an adamant armor for alchemy. That is very good.
I'm not sure it'd be worth checking the for the character spot at Cave Eblan though. Though maybe worth considering especially if it's a foo. So
I mean, at this point, it's tough to say if it's worth it. I mean, I don't really think it's that worthwhile. We can probably just run with this party. We've got, I mean, we have two nuke casters and a white caster. I'd maybe want to swap Tella out for a foo, or really anyone at this point if we're not going D-Machine. Even Kane would be better. But we can always do that right before the grind.
Yeah, Slingshot Kane for late game. I mean, picking
just bring Kane up.
I mean, you got the equipment, you got the weapon at least for him, so that's
yep.
Option on the table.
Oh boy, I approve of this. I approve of what is happening on Alchemy's side. Alchemy's like, wait a minute, I have a dragon whip.
Let Rydia hit things.
We're gonna let Rydia hit things.
I'm thrilled for this. Oh wait, no.
We're gonna let Rydia hit Wyvern.
Oh,
I love it.
Fun. Just get a Zerk off of her and let her do work. I completely approve. Looking for Bacchus wine, but probably
no, still
that's good.
We're gonna slow Wyvern down, which is also a very good idea.
Yeah, if you get an item off on.
Okay, that's percentage based. We're fine.
I thought that was breath for a moment, but no, that's
breath.
Dark,
not breath.
I would panic if I see breath. That's just
breath is fine. If you resist one status effect, you resist everything.
Well, with the rune rings, the entire party.
And we have rune rings, so everyone should resist it.
I mean,
breath is not a problem.
You have to panic when you see it, just because the moment you see Wyvern and Witchburn, you don't. It's easy to panic.
I left. Rydia's doing 3,000 damage already. This is great. And good alchemy, change Rose, because we don't need the Rose for defense. Rydia can do full damage from the back row with a whip. The whip is a back row weapon, whereas Yang cannot do full damage from the back row.
This should be good enough, I think.
Yeah, we're gonna tear through this spot's health. It's now been slowed down quite a bit. Why are we changing Rose back alchemy? I don't.
It's fine.
It's fine. Rydia's doing most of the damage, and she doesn't care what row she's in. And Palom is helping with Quake.
It's the moment where you see Yang. he's trying. I mean, he's contributing, but
yeah, Porum is cheering everyone on, I guess. And there goes Wyvern. Wyvern never got to do anything.
I mean, well, it did get its
initial breath off, I guess.
Didn't even get wall. That's how fast they.
And we get a white shirt. Hooray! That's great for Porum.
Yeah, already seeing it's like need it now.
Give Porum all of the willpower, please.
I mean, you could give it to Tella, but with Cure 4 being what it is, you don't need willpower for a single target full heal. So that's the thing.
Yeah, no, and we're not going to be using even with the white shirt, Tella becomes maybe an okay with a white shirt and a good staff. Tella becomes maybe a decent unequipped white mage, the equivalent of Porum if she had nothing. You may as well give it to Porum so that she can actually be effective.
Yeah, because we're gonna see probably a grind to white. So basically,
a grind to nukes and whites for alchemy. Yeah.
So that extra
all the spells.
Basically the stat armor is gonna make white much more effective. It's white being was 340, and white shirt adds a 4 multiplier. So it's almost 1,500 damage. So it's hard to say no to that extra damage.
Yeah. But we do see CSRadical now diving the moon, as Alchemy is headed to the Crystal Sword Altar, where there is a Dark Elf. This is relatively fine.
Still have to heal the person gets weak, who get hit by weak.
Yeah, we have to heal up one person who gets weak. We have to heal up one person who gets piggied. But on the bright side, Rydia will do more damage to the second bonus damage to the second phase, so that's great.
or we could just weak it with Tella and call it a day. That's just
What if Tella gets weaked though?
Needs to get the healing in quickly. That's kind of deciding what spell to use, but never quite sure. Sometimes you want it fast. Virus is instant cast, where Quake has a delay. So this, sometimes not everything's gonna work
Callum
out.
getting targeted by that piggy is not ideal, but Tella can take his turn to just throw up a heal pot. Now that'll be great.
The CSRadical is also gonna do some take on the Ribbon Room, but before that,
we're gonna do a little bit of grinding first. This I think makes sense with the Dragoon Lance and the Hourglasses. Did take Sid, I will note, over the Tella, which I don't completely hate his party. I would have liked to see Rydia maybe over Sid, because honestly Sid is just not that useful. I'm sorry. It's not, when he's not the hero, Sid is very much, he has to be the hero or he's not very useful on C Hero, just because he's so much slower than everyone else.
I mean, he's a natural anchor.
Yeah, and
it's a curse string, so that's
but
just...
when he's like Tella and Sid, which are your kind of natural anchors, when they're not the anchors, it's not great. Also, Alchemie's Young is not back road. He's fully suffering from all of the penalties of being in the back row. But he's still in the back row. It's fine.
Yang will carry in his own way somehow.
Yes.
I think the kind of the worst thing about Dark Elf, besides the weak, is actually it is the piggy.
The piggy is absolutely the worst. It's just being able to disable one of your spellcasters can be so rough.
It's this particular party constructive. Like, doesn't, like, if it's on Yang, no big deal. But your spellcasters are the most vulnerable. That's what makes this difficult.
Anyway, there's a new change for Alchemy. Now the Dragon Whip will do all of the damage.
We'll try to get Tella's turn to get weak off. So, but at least we'll be doing work.
I would have had Callum cast a stop there, just to minimize this, but
it's fine. I don't think the punching will happen, but
the punching will hurt if it doesn't hit someone with really good defense like Forum. But yeah, we are going to go for a week with Tella. That's definitely what we should go for with Tella here. And there we go, the weak lands. Rydia is going to continue to be angry and do all the damage. Forum gets knocked down, unfortunately.
Oh, God fortunate.
Yeah, that's a good life pot getting off just in time. Alchemy is now through the Dark Elf. That's the last boss here on the moon.
No, there's
at the bottom. There's still the Murisame altar and the Cape Bahamut.
But we won't be back here for too long, so this is good.
And there's a rat tail. That is interesting.
I mean, obviously hoping for another role for the Twin Harp at this point, or worst case the Pan, because but at some point we'll be picking up the key, at least a gating key item.
The hook is a gating key item. We do know there's a demist at Rubicon.
Yeah, so that I mean, the worst case at that point would be if the demist has the Twin Harp.
Demist at Rubicon with the Twin Harp. Golbez at the harp. That would be truly terrible.
I mean, are we gonna wish this on the seed? That's.
I don't really want that. Alchemy is headed back for the Murisame altar. I definitely can defend this play. That we don't know that if this is Golbez or not. So
yeah, you gotta pick the spots.
we gotta know. We have to see if this is Golbez. Radical, meanwhile, is about to find out the bad news that we didn't really need to grind before doing this moon.
It'll be better for the other fights. This fight, you just show up and just watch the cutscene.
Yeah, you just did a whole grind. Here's a King Queen Eblan at the Ribbon Room to give you a free extra 100,000 experience.
Well, they're not fully all the way
That's fair. They're not. It wasn't like a full grind. It was just a bit of extra grind.
It's a safety grind. That's
Yeah.
you know.
And fortunately, this moon hasn't really paid out that much in terms of key items. Alchemy is still only at 9 key items.
This is a free fight. The spot.
Yes, this is Leviathan is not terribly difficult. Alchemy heads up, taking off that dragon whip. Good. Give her the mute knife. Mute knife. Oh,
thinking.
Chain whip is okay. Mute knife is +5. Chain whip is neutral. Dragon whip is -5. So we really don't want that.
Well, it's only one multiplier, but it makes the
it's
whole...
still a multiplier to multiplier. We'd rather not have that off when we summon Leviathan.
You want to do as much damage.
You want to do as much damage as you can. I think Lit 3 is probably worth it since we're not super well anchored over the quakes.
Hey, if you make it cute and actually use Lit 3 here.
Yeah, Lit 3 with Tella as well. Sure. Rydia, I don't think has Lit 3 yet. No, she does not. Not worth doing a Lit 2 over Leviathan. I'd just be Leviathan here.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, the level 2 elemental spells are immediately obsoleted except versus Ruby and Odin by Virus. So...
Yeah, Rydia learns Lit 3 at like level 42.
Yeah, she needs just a couple more. She's got Ice 3. She's close.
Yeah, but she's
not
at level
quite
30.
there.
She's at least level 30 or 39. So that's this is just one Leviathan away. So Lit 2 though only does
Lit 2 is
damage.
not going to do that much damage. It's basically here versus Leviathan. It's pretty much the equivalent of her casting Virus. So not really worth it. The Dragoon Spear is tearing through these things for Radical, making sure this cane is useful. Though Rydia was able to use the Dragon Whip to much the same effect on Alchemy's side.
The Dragoon Spear...
Dragoon Spear a bit better, though.
Yeah, it's...
Just a bit better.
Just a bit.
And that's Alchemy through Leviathan at the top of the moon. We will see what value is here for her. That's a pan. That I think that pulls me off of the moon.
Just fade K value altogether?
I think for now, I have a pan, I have a Rat Tail to chase, and I have a Feymarch available, plus a Demist on the hook route. I think I'm willing to fade K value, knowing that the boss is not Golbez, which Alchemy does know. The boss is not Golbez there.
But could be at the King Queen Eblan spot though. That's just
if it's at the King Queen Eblan spot, if Golbez is at the King Queen Eblan spot, we do that anyway on our way to Demist.
That is true. I mean, there's plenty of things to do, but looking at what the key items are saying.
Yeah, I think we come down here because we're likely to find a Twin Harp or an Earth Crystal down here. Preferably a Twin Harp, but an Earth Crystal wouldn't be terrible either. I think Alchemy is going to first go turn in the tails, because we have at the very least, we turn in our Rat Tail and our Pink Tail, grab the Adamant Armor. I don't think it makes sense to stay on the moon without the Adamant Armor.
Yeah, you probably give it to either Yang or Porum or Palom in this party construct, and you want. I
would actually consider giving it to Rydia.
Really?
In this party, because if we get Rydia up to nuke, Rydia's casting stat is much worse than Palom's. So giving her that Adamant Armor can help neutralize that gap.
I think the stat is about at least a bluff, probably two bluffs worth. I think it's at least a bluff worth of difference. Yeah. So that's
it's
pretty
about 10 points, I think, right when they learn nuke. Taking their stats each when they learn nuke, which is an extra 100,000 experience for Rydia.
Yeah, Rydia learns nuke at essentially
1 million experience, and Palom learns it at 906,000, I want to say. So not even taking into account the extra levels that Palom will get while Rydia's on her way to nuke. Rydia is 10 points of wisdom behind, so giving her the Adamant Armor just to bring her back up to even-ish would be very nice.
If you want to fix Rydia's wisdom over, Palom already has an instant wave.
And Palom has bluff.
Yeah.
Palom can bluff himself up to enough wisdom.
You want to maximize the damage of Nuke over. White is also
White is cool, but
it's
like
not strong.
it's mostly maximizing the damage of Nuke that matters. Because Porom will be fine. Porom has a white shirt too. She doesn't. The adamant armor won't give her any extra willpower.
It will make her cast a little bit faster with it.
It will make her cast faster, but
that's not a value. Yeah,
it's not valuable enough for her, I think. Radical did fade the Masa altar, which is a little bit concerning because we know that's where our hook is, and that gates at least the Demas still, and that Avenger from the Rat Tail tournament. The Pan gives us a package, which is, I mean, it's a place we can look for Golbez, I guess.
I mean, it's a one-off check. It might as well done if we don't stumble on a Golbez. So I don't see that it's not too bad. Especially would you do package or do you want to do like lower Babel to demist? I
would lean towards lower Babel for demist because there's the King Queen spot, which could be just as likely as package. Plus, demist is a guaranteed extra check.
And it looks like Alchemie is deciding want to finish off that grind. Plenty of sirens to get to the levels that she needs to be at. So this is fine.
And yeah, Alchemie here is going to be able to get all of the levels that she wants. Dragon with Rydia will be able to probably take out these eggs, no problem, I hope. Well, Paralyze works.
I mean, cool.
You didn't one-shot the egg, but Paralyze works, I guess.
I mean, you have to consider that the eggs, when they take the turn, they would just do nothing, and they empty the ATB. So that chance of happening isn't actually unexpected when you think about it.
It's not great, but it can happen for sure. Radical is headed back into Gold Dragons on the Moon, so we have both runners doing their grinds. Very different parties, very different grinds going on. And I think I like Alchemie's position a bit more just because Alchemie has 10 key items, is a bit further through the seed. We'll be getting the full experience from this, or full doubled experience from this, whereas Radical is having to deal with entangles, having to deal with only getting 90,000 if he gets the life glitch off.
Yeah,
from each encounter, whereas Alchemie is able to tear through these egg encounters, admittedly not super quickly, but quickly enough, and they're getting 68,000 apiece.
Yeah, but when you leave the Gold Dragons that King'Ra use to their devices, they counter any damage with Entangle, which is generally very effective paralysis.
Yeah, it's not great. Entangle is not fun.
Especially with characters that have no willpower to speak of. We're talking about Yang or Sid, or
Kane. Yeah.
No, Kane actually.
Kane has some will. He doesn't have any. No.
It's at least he has some to speak of. It's Yang and Sid who are crippled by
they are very poor. Gold Dragon grind without hourglasses is very rough, even if you do have Dragon Slaying gear. And since we're not at 10 key items, I really am not a huge fan of that grind. Meanwhile, Alchemie is just one-shotting eggs now. It's not the fastest of the grinds, but it's going along pretty quickly. That's the twins up to level 48, with them learning Weak and Cure 4. This grind should be over pretty soon.
Yeah, when Porom learns Cure 4, you're pretty comfortable. Even if she doesn't learn White, this party gonna be you're grinding to the damage spells that will do all the work.
You're grinding until Rydia learns Nuke here.
So, Porom will be taken along with the ride. So this is pretty much guaranteed
to get White, guaranteed here. There's Palom's Meteor. Rydia has just learned Stone. She's still a little ways away. Yeah, 46. So we'll need probably a few more Sirens to get Rydia up to Nuke. But once Rydia's up to Nuke, I expect Alchemie will just move on. Maybe we'll see some Feymarch fights since she's down here in the underground.
I don't even remember what the fights are at Feymarch. I'm sure. I mean, both runners picked up the.
They were both not friendly, but I don't remember anything awful.
I hear.
Oh yes, there was Plague at Levy. That was one of them. Alchemy did peak that one.
And well, that's a free fight, but probably at the levels it wouldn't have been very efficient or effective. So it's understandable to just faded that outright. Still very doable, but hey, if you don't do any damage, it doesn't matter how free it is sometimes.
Oh, Octomam at the Asura spot, I think, is what chat is saying. So yeah, again, not like completely free, but not bad.
Well, taking advantage of Octomammoth isn't a problem usually because
Octomammoth. We just have to remember not to cast white against Octomammoth.
Holy squid. Why are squids holy? We don't. Before.
I don't know actually.
This is before.
Well, actually, it's because Octomammoth is an ethereal octopus. That's how the Octomammoth can swim through all sorts of substances and not just water.
It's magical.
Yes, it's an ethereal octopus. Kind of like Demist. It's ethereal. It's not like all there all the time.
CSRadical is finishing up the Dark Imp fight. Not caring for Cave, though doesn't have the hourglass, so it's actually it's becoming an imperative that that Dark Imp disappears with the Fatal Cast. Although
this is a very scary fight.
I would have gambled with just Stone outright, just because it's like I just want that instant death. If it doesn't, then you just worst case you reset or try again. I mean, Fatal is.
We get through Palom for him, get the levels. There's weak for Palom. Young also gets levels because he's the hero. Alchemy has Nuke on Rydia, is still grinding. Might want just a little bit more hit points.
Yeah,
I guess I don't. I mean, since Young is our hero, the agility could be a little dicey. I suppose it's okay to grind just a little bit more, get just a bit more HP. Make sure Young is over that 28 agility threshold. Well, I think he is already. We only have 2 more sirens, and I expect after these sirens, Alchemy will be done.
I thought we saw like Cat Call early, and I think probably another one. So
yeah,
he might have.
I think 1 Cat Claw.
I'm pretty sure I've seen 2 in the seed, but not for Alchemy, probably for Radical, because did some looting at Castle Eblan. So I think there's a pair for CSRadical, if I'm not mistaken. But I'd have to double check. But we did see that.
No, the other one was in Eblan Castle, which Alchemy has not stepped foot into.
Yeah.
But yeah, Radical is back on the blue planet now, down a pan. So we'll see if anything comes from that pan. We'll get an Avenger at least from this Rat Tail turn-in, which is very good for him. But yeah, we'll be down that pan check, which for now, I mean, only has led to the package, but we'll see if that pan leads to something else at Sheila 2.
I mean, if it's Twin Harp, well, that will kind of miss the race.
That would be bad. And yeah, Alchemy is completely done with the grind, has all of the big spells and some extra hit points. He is headed to Kabul. We're taking the hovercraft with us. I'm guessing that she might be planning on heading down the hook route to see what's down there.
Yeah, probably. It's worth a check.
We're not checking the character, but we could check on the boss, knowing that Demist is at the Ruby spot.
It's interesting that the seed is kind of feeding all these good weapons, but outside of Yang, the only other berserker in the seed, at least that we've seen.
The only other real strong berserker is Kane, and that's a legend sword from Sheila 2.
So hoping
that's value.
Very much, and it would be something to see some it would be worth seeing what the forge item is, probably, and see what's in the shop as well.
I mean,
for some crystal rings.
I don't know if we care that. Other than crystal rings, I don't think we care that much about what the shop could have. Though it does look like
I think this is going to be probably a face check of the boss spots. But we already knew that demist is at the end of the hook route. The question is,
demist at the end of the hook route. Alchemie is going to start face checking bosses because Alchemie has access to every boss except for Zatu and Harp.
Yeah, so something will show up.
And if she finds Golbez at any of those spots, or at least we're checking the package character. It was a duplicate Palom. I think it's too late for Palom, sadly. But we do like Stardust Rods, yes. Looks like we're heading to Baron Basement, maybe? Or to the inn. Okay, to the inn first. Or a nap. And then maybe to Baron Basement. Meanwhile, Radical is headed to the Fey March to see if he can pull a Twin Harp out of the Fey March. There's a bunch of other items that he could find at this point, or that he's hoping to find. But we know in the booths that the Twin Harp is pretty much the only value, other than an Earth Crystal that has Golbez hiding up in the Tower Zot.
Although it would be a surprise if Golbez was in the Zot 1 spot.
That would be very cheeky, and I would be here for it. Looks like Alchemie's headed for the Baron Basement. This makes sense for her. It's a pretty quick check, at least in terms of seeing the boss, and she definitely has the power to get through it. Golbez at package would be pretty bad for Radical because Radical doesn't have access to that package. So there's a few options for where Golbez could be that could be pretty bad.
I think the focus is trying to get the key items. I know we're doing face checks like on the way, but I think trying to guarantee the key items to just do the key items checks probably would be a more solid lead.
I mean, it's at this point we have Fey March, Cape Bahamut, and the demist item is what's left for us in the booth, which Radical is going to give us a look at this Octomam fight, see what's behind it. I don't expect he'll have any issues getting through.
Trying to go for a off center stone cast from Palom, which is really reliable.
Probably land. Palom is pretty strong, pretty good at casting stone. By the time he learns how to cast stone, he's competent usually. And yep, there we go. Alchemie already through the Baron Basement. We'll get her ninja sword and probably say, I don't need this ninja sword, I also don't need the levels.
Yeah, it's going to be a reset. You're not walking.
Yeah, we don't need to walk that out. Radical gets through Octomam. We get a Leviathan Orb. Yay!
Okay, French vanilla. It's just a spot off, but
yeah. Alchemie is going for the package boss.
Might as well.
Chasing that package that she got from that Pam, which I really like actually.
I mean, why not? It's another way. Your opponent is probably equally not thrilled to see hoping for a package boss at the end of it maybe being Golbez. So that's some runners like to go for these off checks just to hoping for the advantage because need any advantage you can get, and sometimes the seed can provide. So at this point, this check doesn't look any better or worse than the other checks that are left on the table.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say a Zot 1 peak wouldn't be terrible for Alchemie, just because it's about the same time, maybe a little bit quicker for Zot 1. But yeah, it's not bad. Radical is now damaging his party down so that he can knock some party members down quickly against the Plague fight. This makes sense. We don't need the hit points for Plague.
Yeah, just have if you need to reset the timer, you just need to essentially put down one character and then revive him. So it doesn't matter which one, just as long as it's easy to take down, and that typically be the mages. So that's not
as long as
the advantage.
One party member has taken a bunch of damage, we are okay. But it's the moment of truth. Let's see, will this package pay off for Alchemy, or will Alchemy be boss hunting potentially in the Giant? Because those are the only other boss spots we have left, other than Zot1 and Zot and Harp, I guess.
I mean, if you're doing Giant this late, you're hoping for like a grind. Just you have
No,
your
we
items.
don't need a grind.
Yeah, but
we do not need a grind. We only need Golbez. It's just will Golbez show up? Not Golbez at package. There's also King Queen. Maybe Alchemy goes down for King Queen. Demist should go down pretty quickly with the nuke power that we have. But I think we're headed to Zot 1 first. I really like this play, actually. I really like the Zot 1 play at this point.
I mean, why not?
One boss from Go mode. We haven't seen an Earth Crystal yet. Who knows when this Earth Crystal is going to show up? Let's take the minute to walk up the Tower of Zot, see if Golbez is up here.
I mean, there's still, we still need one key item left for the item, and looks like...
I don't love taking the Flame Dog this late, but I guess it's fine. We can one-shot it.
Maybe hoping for an Adamant just for more safe. That's about the best.
That's about all that I would really want. A Ribbon is nice, I guess. It's not worth keeping through a reset, I don't think.
Yeah.
But it's not bad.
I mean, having more magic evasion opportunities for the Z fight.
Plus, if we throw it on, we can throw it onto someone who's not wearing the Adamant and have 2 people guaranteed to survive Golbez's Shadow Dragon instead of just 1.
That too, but not equipped at this very moment.
Yeah, I would want to have equipped the Adamant armor at this point. I think you gotta just put it on someone. But our Zot 1 boss is Golbez. So Alchemy is out once again. And that's another summon orb from the Fey March. Yeah, we get an Odin summon. That's kind of vanilla-ish. Oh, Alchemy, yes. Do it.
This is what's left.
This is the King Queen play.
Why not?
I love it.
And what's gonna follow is with a key item. We'll probably
and there's a key item check here. So I expect Alchemy to just finish this whole thing and get this Demist check done.
But CSRadical is doing the same thing.
Radical is also going to come down here. I think Alchemy will have a faster fight just because Nuke is so much better than the Zerkers here.
Yeah, there aren't any real weaknesses to take advantage of Demist. So that
Demist doesn't have any weaknesses. Nukes are going to do way more damage than these B-tier Zerkers that Radical has. So I think Alchemy is in a better position through here. The question is, will she... Oh, hi, Vanilla Edge. It's way too late for you to join the party. We're just gonna turn you down.
I did see a Masa somewhere, and that was in the ribbon room. But
it doesn't matter. Alchemy has already grinded, as has CSRadical. We're already at basically Zeromus ready levels. We don't care about any characters at this point.
I think the worst part of the chain. I mean, the Harp could definitely show up, but it's got to be Earth or Harp that we're getting, right? There's still the Cave Value that we have.
The Cave Bahamut could have something, yeah, but something has to turn up here. Whether it's one of the Earth Harp or Spoon Sanderby, because one of these 2 chains, one of the chains from either the chain from Demist or the chain from Cave Value, like one of them is the Spoon, one from Sanderby. The Harp and the Twin Harp, or the Harp and the Earth Crystal can be intermediate key items on the way to those ends, but they have to end with Sanderby and Spoon, respectively.
Even with the kind of trouble some of our runners are having, they're kind of neck and neck, given the key item situation. There's nothing...
Alchemy just kind of needs to dodge the Fey March, which Radical has done, and Radical... Radical has a little bit more to sort of go back to on the moon with the lack of the Mura altar, as well as Cape Bahamut. Radical did take the edge, which is interesting. I think he's probably not quite as done with his grind. That's a water hag at the first spot of at the King Queen spot, so
Something super
not
free.
our
Enough.
yeah, not our progression, or not our objective for Alchemy, but it's still free. We can go through it quickly.
Although if it were a regular boss, it'd just be one nuke away from dying instead of 3 hits with
instead
so
of
much
having to
pausing.
bonk it 3 times. Yeah, it's a little bit rough. But we'll
It's
get through
fun.
it quickly enough, and then Alchemy will be on to the demist. Yeah, it looks like Radical ditched the Sid for that edge, which I definitely stand by that decision. Sid, I don't think ever got anything better than the Earth Hammer. Maybe.
Yeah, that doesn't move the needle.
Actually, it might have been a wooden hammer. It was
It doesn't.
bad.
It's you don't have anything for Sid. It's
Sid needed to go.
I mean, we'll be slingshotted. That's the plus.
That's nice, I guess. Yeah.
But still, one key item behind.
Alchemy, will you remember that you can't cast white on this boss? I think we did. I approve of using the Silk Web here.
Yeah, you want to.
Yeah, throw your nukes.
Want to increase that window of being able to hit demist.
Yeah,
before
want to
going
make
to
sure all these nukes land.
Slow is always useful when you need it. There will be instances where that might not be the case, but this is certainly one of those situations.
And yeah, Alchemy has done already 15,000 damage before the first mist phase. But I do think we're going to see the first mist phase coming up here soon. We might be able to sneak one more nuke in, but I'm not sure.
Do we actually need a blink? We've over leveled.
I don't think so. Realizing, hey, we should probably take the Dragon Whip off. Yeah, that's a good idea. There's another many thousands of damage. Okay, we did have another punch left, so I think Alchemy is through with this nuke.
There we
yeah,
go.
Alchemy is through demist already. No mist phases.
Because demist is itself a slog battle just because of the mist phases. If you have
the mist phases just eat up a bunch of extra time, and yeah, Radical is getting a mist phase here. Well, Alchemy is already through and will be able to just move on. I do think Alchemy has been on a lower battle speed for a while, which is definitely eating up some time, but will actually probably be beneficial for the Zeromus fight.
Yeah, you want to have some time.
Alchemy, you cannot warp from the screen. You also cannot warp. Just go down. Alchemy, just go down. Just go through.
It's that moment where, wait, which way to go? Oh, all right.
I think Alchemy was thinking, I'll walk backwards and work backwards, but no, if you walk backwards, you get warped back to the room back to that room where you can't warp. So yeah, it's faster to just finish the walkout.
I mean, do an objective that you don't have to do. That's fine. It's not objective.
It's okay. We got demist down. I expect Alchemy will go check demist.
That's the first thing to check.
I would hope that she does that before the Fey March. I mean, we might forge first, but since we're underground and we're unlikely to come back underground, I think it makes sense to forge here, but I would go straight to demist after forging.
You know, I think Yang's forge weapon is a little forge weapon is a little underwhelming relative to everyone else. I mean,
yeah. Yang's forges are not particularly great, so there wasn't really a reason to rush them. The God Hand is nice for the holy damage on the stat boosts. The Dragon Claw gives some nice stat boosts as well, plus anti-dragon damage, but once we did the grind, it was basically not worth going out of our way to get that. And then the Tiger Claw just makes Yang faster. It's kind of terrible.
What are the chances that this is going to be a one-stop shop for agility? I'm hoping for that, but it's not. Doesn't always happen. And
I mean, we have a life staff and ribbons. So that's it. We don't really need anything here.
No. We can leave. We can sell the Avenger. Sell the.
Oh yeah, I guess we can sell some of our heavy armor and stuff. Don't sell the adamant armor. I also wouldn't have sold the mute knife. That's a good stat stick.
And any stat stick is a good stick.
Yeah, it's a +5 with wisdom stat stick. You want that. Okay, yeah, we're gonna buy some life staffs, buy a couple ribbons. Sure, we may as well.
Sell probably one more thing for just for to get the extra ribbon, just for the extra kind of protection that is needed.
That's not quite enough. You need to sell something.
Dragon whip. Sell the dragon whip. Sell the Bacchus. You can
yeah, sell the Bacchus. You're not going to use the Bacchus. We want that other ribbon. Make sure you grab the item alchemy. Radical, meanwhile, is going to show us what is at Rydia's mom. It's an earth crystal.
Oh
boy, the chain continues.
Hooray! Although it still could be that Twin Harp is on the moon, so on K value. So
comet, and it could be behind this Zot. And it looks like Radical has no interest in going to Zot.
I mean, it is a long trek, but you have two.
It's a long trek. There's only one check as opposed to the 2 checks that Radical has on the moon. I think he's feeling like he needs to go to the moon, go through the Mura Altar and Cape Bahamut, see what's there. Alchemy, I feel like is more inclined to go to the Earth, to go to Zot. There's a couple other checks out of the way. It is another spot where Golbez can be hiding. Alchemy is gonna have some airship troubles though, because she has taken the Falcon to go do Zot.
The
Troyan Parking Authority is not going to be pleased with this.
They don't actually care. It doesn't matter which airship you land there. It's just self-inconvenience. You're making it tough for yourself because you can't land your big whale there. That's just the thing.
But yeah, this is it. Okay, Radical is headed for the Mura Altar, which will get him to Forge eventually.
But at least it's necessary. That's the part.
Yes, it is an objective, sure. But Alchemy is on the path to Zot, which will give her one more boss check at Golbez. If Golbez is not here, and this doesn't give the Harp, Golbez is either at Harp or at Giant.
Yeah. Giant has 2 spots.
And I think if I were in Alchemy's shoes, I'd gamble Giant. And because we don't know what the Fey March leads to, for Alchemy at least, it's better to just gamble on the 2 bosses that you have and hope that Golbez isn't exactly at the Harp.
But did Alchemy not peak the peak Fey March? I thought
she peaked the Fey March bosses, so she knows that Golbez is down there, but she did not fight them, so she doesn't know if they have key items or not.
And we know from CSRadical,
we know that they don't have anything, and they don't have any value. But Alchemy doesn't know that those 2 bosses don't have anything of value. But yeah, these Tower Zot bosses are going to melt for Alchemy. She can basically just blaze through these.
If Golbez is not here, just for the sake of argument, and then CSRadical will probably do cave value before leaving, and it has the Twin Harp, CSRadical has a chance to come back in the race.
Very spicy.
So yeah, it has to go a certain way for CSRadical, and hey, free.
This is the person who we were waiting for to replace Tella, I think, for Alchemy. I think this is exactly who we replaced Tella with.
I mean, you need to fix your agility. You replace better Tella. That's a better Tella. Fu is a better Tella. And it would be fun if there was another Fu behind that, but no, it's a level of bard. But we don't even have the spoon, so and we got this, because we got Edward, we see Edward here. We're probably gonna get the spoon after this, as
probably
lore will happen that way.
Yeah, Alchemy is going to take Fu over Tella. I'm pretty sure, yeah, Edward is going away. Fu is actually useful for this party. Radical is headed to Cape Bahamut to see what the value is here. So one of these 2 checks will be the Twin Harp. But it doesn't matter because Alchemy found Golbez.
Ha ha ha. Your boss is at
Alchemy
the top of the
is in go mode.
but the adamant armor or any of those ribbons been equipped? I don't remember.
No.
So that's gonna be
the ribbons
kind of
maybe, but the adamant armor is not equipped.
I think they're trying to kill some of the characters off. This is what I'm seeing, but won't get a chance to. Even if it's Venom, it's not gonna happen. It's once the dialogue
the
starts,
Venom is not gonna happen. The dialogue started. We're all getting held, which means that no adamant equipped.
I mean, worst case, we reset. The Val spot does have above average spell power for its spot.
There is a chance that Alchemy wipes here. I don't think it's likely because our casters should all be faster than Golbez. We're much faster than the spot. Not much faster, but we are all faster than the spot. But yeah, down goes Rydia, down goes Porum, down goes Palom. That's not ideal because those are all our big heavy hitters, although Yang does have the God Hand.
Shouldn't be. I mean, Yang will have enough HP to absorb all that damage, so this is fine. It doesn't matter what Golbez casts.
Yeah.
This is fine. If Yang went down, though, then the math might have changed a little bit, but it's fine. We're safe.
We just need to do damage quickly, and that's just a spoon from Cave Valley, which means this is the harp at Zot.
That's unfortunate.
Which, yeah, unfortunate for us because we're probably not going to get music.
Well, you didn't roll this seed, so I think that's your penance.
Yeah.
Would have been nice to harp, but yeah.
Golbez down for Alchemy. She has, and that will be her 6th objective complete. She just needs to beat up Zeromus now. Yep, there's that crystal. And she'll also be getting the Twin Harp shortly, which we know leads to the Sand Ruby, because we've seen every other check in the game.
This is practically 17 out of 17.
Yep. And Radical has decided to go for the Pan Chase, which is entirely reasonable, but also not going to help.
I mean, when you have the key item, you want to try to find more sources of that of more key items. So it's logical check to do. I mean, there's maximum of 3 key items. Not sure if CSRadical did Sheila 1 check prior to that, but even then,
Panda Forge is probably faster than doing the Twin Harp anyway. Like,
so I think we're gonna pick up a few things.
Yeah, Alchemy looks to be shopping, I would guess.
What was in the shop that would?
I don't remember what was in the shop here.
Must be a potion or something, like Cure 3s, Elixirs, Ether 2s, maybe.
I think all we need is like Star Veils maybe, and then we're good to go for Zeromus. Like,
we out of Star Veils already?
Maybe? I don't think so.
I mean, I think there was some use for the Azura fight, and that's
Alchemy didn't use them for Azura. Alchemy had Telewall.
I'm sure we'll see what that item is. I'm sure we're gonna stock up on whatever that is. But it is Star Veils.
We do want more Star Veils. I don't think we need more Star Veils, but okay, we're going to buy more Star Veils. Alchemy.
Just sell the white.
We have 3 Star Veils. Oh, she's equipping her ribbons. Yes, that's a good idea. Equip those ribbons.
Try to figure out who to give the adamant armor to, probably at the same time. So
yeah. Don't worry about Yang.
Yang doesn't really need a ribbon. You want to give it more to your spellcasters, as that they amplify the magic evasion multiplier. Yang doesn't even
Yang's got 30 agility. I think that's probably the best you're gonna get from him. Ribbon for... No, you're out of ribbons, Alchemy. You gave Yang a ribbon.
Thinking. It's like last minute. It's like last minute shopping when you just go. The last minute shopping, like you're going to buy stuff, but you didn't put together a list. That's what Alchemy's doing right now.
Yeah. Okay, we're buying some Star Veils. Alchemy, you have enough Star Veils. You are good.
I'm almost thinking you need like only like 3 realistically in that fight. Like one because you need the initial, and then maybe one if for some reason Z gets the black hole and that or it wears off.
Yeah,
That's
we
about
don't
it.
need 20 though. 20 is very, very excessive. 20 is a number I only really would justify if I'm doing 1200 strats or Eddy strats. And we are not doing that because we have 3 nuke casters and a white caster.
Like we're doing Fu and friends, but our friends have nuke and
Our friends have nuke and white. Alchemy gets the bad news, but oh yeah, I took the wrong airship to Troya. I have to walk.
It's the walk of shame. It happens every so often. The bridge isn't there normally. There's a chocobo forest.
We added it because people didn't know about the chocobo forest, and we're like, why can't I get back to Troya? It's like, well, we'll put a bridge in.
I mean, it's not hard to find that forest, but once you've seen it, but you know, most of the times this doesn't come up, but when this does come up, you know, shenanigans happen. And I do get amused when you know, you leave this is dude, where's my airship? And, yeah, this is the airship that should never be parked here. Well, actually, there's 2 of them. There's 2 of them.
So as Alchemy heads to Z, CSRadical has dropped their feed. We have lost their feed. We're not getting it back because Alchemy's headed to the Romus with 3 new casters and a white caster. And
it's that time. It's that time of the
it is
the show.
Chat is letting us down. We do not have any flags.
Oh, so no, they don't. No one's telling us to go to sleep. I guess because we got to stay awake for every waking moment. But I know.
Okay, there we go. There's some flags. I believe there's a question we're supposed to ask.
Yeah, you know, Z. We can't move him anywhere because it'd be too difficult. Probably would blow up the seed. You don't know what shenanigans could happen if we move Z, but you know, this is a randomizer, and Z, we can make Z look like anything we want because Scala in her Infowism has lots of Z art, and like we have over 500. It's a large number, large enough that we have not. I could not fathom seeing all of it. But the question that we gotta ask is. Whose butt are we gonna kick tonight?
Also, is the butt cute? And does it have a hat? And is the hat cute? And does it have a musical instrument?
It could be. Is there?
And how many butts are there going to be? We don't know. There's a lot of questions. Anyway, Alchemy's going to use the crystal. Yang is in the front row. It's a miracle. He's been in the back row all feed, and he's finally in the front row.
Unleash the Yang. It's fine. No, but Yang isn't gonna really might get a few hits in, but most of the work is gonna be done by her mages using straight reflex strats. If you didn't know, you know, this game is coded very well, and oh boy, this is an awesome sprite.
Yep, it's King Jot. We are fighting King Jot.
Reliving Adamant Cup. Just as intended. So anyways, so reflex strats are wonderful because they don't trigger any sort of counter script from the enemy that gets hit by the spell, and because
so we're putting up
doesn't get hit.
Starveil. We're gonna throw a silk web out from Porum. Fu takes a nuke. That's a little unfortunate. He'll probably be fine though. He may not be fine.
Probably will need a heal from Porum if he even gets the
Or
opportunity.
himself. It's either
fine.
or. Or maybe Yang can throw something. Yang could throw him a Cure 3, I guess.
doing some agility manipulation at
Yeah, we
the fight.
didn't want the claws on before the fight because Young's agility was it would have been very high with those claws on.
Yeah, the fight's agility is set at the agility start. So when the agility is manipulated during the fight, the fight speed doesn't actually change. So Yang actually goes faster because of the equipment additions that boost the agility massively. So this is a very smart play by Alchemie.
Fu does get a Cure 4 off on himself in time, so we are safe here. We're queuing up all of the big spells from Porum and Rydia. That Big Bang barely did any damage. Yang is going to do like 5,000 damage. I'm actually not sure that the Atom Armor is equipped.
That might have been forgotten.
I'm starting to think like, yeah, no, these nukes are not doing enough damage that I think the Adamant Armor is, maybe it's on Fu, but it's definitely not on Rydia or Palom. Not with these damage rolls.
No, Palom with natural wisdom.
Palom's natural wisdom got him up to over 9,000, but the first nuke from Palom was only in the 7,000 range. Maybe, no, Porum has like a bunch of other white magic
White shirt
gear.
White shirt being the top of that list. So and with and the life staff. So there's
yes,
two
Porum
sources.
has so much willpower. Alchemie no longer attacking with Yang because at this point, if we do direct damage, we'll probably tip into the next phase and have to do a whole bunch of extra damage, and we don't want to do that.
I think there's a nice benefit of the Reflected Cure is that it doesn't even trigger. Again, doesn't
trigger anything.
So, but actually healing the enemy if you do it directly, I don't think triggers HP damaging things unless it's.
I believe it does.
Only if it does damage. Like so, if it's like an undead like the D-Lunars, then they definitely react to it.
It still triggers the HP refill. I think anything that affects the Zeromus' HP or MP triggers the refill.
I mean, yeah, they definitely don't do a direct. But
so a direct heal will affect him, I believe.
Yeah.
But that is GG's to Alchemie, who has finished in first place with a time of 2:04.25. CSRadical has forfeit the race, so we will not be getting CS-Radical's feed back.
I mean, it's unfortunate, but there's a lot of things to be done, especially with what CSRadical had left to do to stumble onto Golbez. So that
I mean, Radical had Zot basically left to do. It was pretty much just Zot at that point. Had to forge, finish Zot, and then it was Golbez and Latwinhardt right there. But yeah, we'll see if Alchemie is going to join us for an interview. And it looks like we are now joined by Alchemie. GG's.
GG's Alchemie.
Wow, thanks. I said in the chat in the restaurant, like, wow, this tournament is gonna remove 10 years of my life in the best way possible. Wow.
Yeah, it was. So, first question. That early Dwarf Castle play.
What?
What?
I saw Hourglasses on a free boss and I went for it. I had the items. I don't know. I like doing nonsense like that,
That was so out there, but it ended up, and I mean,
no, it did not pay off in any way, shape, or form.
But yeah,
which is fine.
And pulling that off actually ended up being really huge for you because you got a bunch of early experience on that Palom and Porum.
Yes.
And were able to get through the overworld so much more smoothly as a result of that. It did take a while, but it helped you out so much with the overworld.
The idea was selling the Rune Rings and buying Sirens, but there were no Sirens, so I saw the free boss and I was like, ka-ching! There's my XP. But
yeah, it worked out really well for you.
It did work out Kinda, for the most part. Yes.
Yeah, mostly.
I'll take it.
I mean, it was really. We had some really interesting party divergence where you stuck with the mages the whole way. Radical ended up pivoting over to Zerkers.
Makes sense.
About halfway through the seed. I mean, when I say Zerkers, I mean Kane joined the party.
There was an Avenger somewhere, so
Yeah,
Sure.
eventually at the Rat Tail, but it was mostly Dragoon Spear Kane for a while, and then
I mean that's fine.
Sid showed up on the moon with nothing, and then Edge showed up and actually was a useful character. But
Yeah, there was so much edge in this seed. It was
Edge showed up at the hook route. We never
Yeah.
even saw Cecil. Like,
Cecil was snoozing on the bed or
I
in
think
the giant. I
Cecil.
don't
Oh,
care.
Cecil was at the bed.
Sure.
I don't know. Didn't see. The Sand Ruby was behind the Twin Harp anyway. Like, no one was getting that.
Yeah, fair. Knowledge
Yeah.
play pays off every time. This is not confirmation bias. Don't add me. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it was a really fascinating play. We're like, yep, this is free with the hourglass, but it's gonna take forever. And then who's at the second spot? You know. Plus, what if Alchemie is giving up on the warp glitch? Oh no.
I knew, like, if this is something if this is darkness or, I don't know, Twin Harps of something and the Luca key is buried somewhere in a chain, I lose. And that's okay. That's fine.
Fortunately, it was neither.
Yep.
And you were fine.
Yep. Fortunately, yeah. Also, I was freaking out because I was going completely faded the Fey March. I was like, oh, Twin Harp's gonna be there. I'm doing all this Gallivanting nonsense. Twin Harp's gonna be there. It wasn't. Wow.
No,
I'm
the Fey
surprised.
March. Do you want to know what was in the Fey March?
Spoon and adamant armor.
Oh no, it was worse. It was an Odin orb and a Leviathan orb.
Oh wow, that's really funny.
You go to the Fey March, you'll learn your summons for Rydia.
Nice. Wow. I don't know what to say. I just did my thing, and the favorite doing my thing. I think I just got really lucky.
I mean, fading the Fey March worked out for you really well, and who would have thought that it would be a hard required demist at the hook route?
With the hook route being at Massa Altar.
Yeah, hook at Masa Altar, demist at the hook route to get the Earth Crystal that leads you to your Golbez and your Twin Heart. It was just a matter of basically you getting the early power and keeping that up for the moon. And I mean, the Dragon Whip really came in handy a lot on the moon. And then, like, the moon was basically free or dragons.
I laughed really hard when I went to the Dream Altar, like, oh, there's gonna be 2 key items, and I'm at 8. I'm just gonna grab my 2 key items, face check the bosses down here, and then bail, and then my Siren grind, and then it was like,
No,
I don't know,
it was a
like
Masa and like a Dragoon Lance, and it was
I was like, oh, this sucks.
You're gonna take all the fights up here, and you're gonna like it, except the entire bottom of the moon was a waste of time other than that hook.
Yeah, and then the Dark Games bailed me out. So
Yes, the Dark
that was
bailed you out with that hook,
unfortunate.
which was the start of the required chain to T-Mist to Zot to...
Yeah.
My goodness. That was a mess.
Yeah, it was a mess.
But yeah, I mean, honestly, it was a pretty close race. You had a little bit of a lead throughout.
I'm shocked.
You, just because of that early experience again and being able to get through a lot of the overworld much quicker. Radical took some had a bit of a struggle with the Asura fight early on.
I have the
Set him back.
I have like Hallam. The thing I want is virus like ASAP as soon as possible.
Oh yeah, and that really ended up working out well for you. Getting Palom online.
I thought about life locking Asura. I was like, I have a Tela with wall. What am I doing?
Yeah.
I was like,
Radical was there before getting before going up ordeals, before getting any big spells, trying to use twin cast to get through it, and it just
rough. Yeah.
You can't really use twin cast to get through Asura, unfortunately. At least not.
I mean, you can if you get lucky, I guess, but that's
you can bluff a lot
shit.
and then get lucky. Yeah. But it was just a little bit rough, and then you found the right things before he did.
Yeah, honestly,
so
that's
you're just like a little bit
about it.
ahead the whole way through the moon.
Also, I'm never gonna do reflect strats in anything other than BS6 from now on. Thank you very much.
Oh,
Every single time I've done reflex strats, like at BS3 and or 5 or whatever, I've just messed it up every single time.
I mean,
So I went for BS6 and I was like, I'm just gonna take it nice and easy. If I lose because of
Yeah.
BS6, I will take it. I would rather not wipe.
but yeah,
And I
no,
didn't.
it was smooth for you. You had 3 nuke casters and a white caster.
Yeah. So I was helping.
Yeah. Also, who had your adamant armor at the end?
No one.
Alchemie, please.
I didn't need it? I don't know what to tell you.
But like you could have done more damage with some of those nukes.
My brain. Listen, I've had a long day. Okay, and I bought those ribbons. Like, oh damn, ribbon, magic defense, magic evade.
Yeah.
Oh, this is great. I'm gonna buy so many ribbons. And I was like, oh, let me equip everyone with the ribbons I bought. Yes, because I forgot at Goldman's, right? And I was like, oh, no, not again. I'll equip these ribbons. And I was so focused on the ribbons, I completely forgot about the adamant armor.
Rydia would have very much appreciated the adamant armor when
Oh,
she was doing
absolutely.
6,000 damage a nuke.
She would have loved it.
She could have been doing like 2,000 more damage every single nuke.
It's
It would have been great.
fine.
Also, I'm slightly mad at you for selling the mute knife because that gives +5 wisdom.
I can,
But
does
whatever.
it? Yeah, it
Yeah,
does. doesn't
mute
it?
knife
Yeah.
is a stat stick for your
Yeah, I guess
mages.
it does, huh? I could have put it on Palom or something.
You could have put it on
yeah.
Palom or Rydia, and they would have
Yeah,
loved
really,
it.
huh?
They would have been like, yes, please, give me the stats. It's okay.
And I know I have done a mute edge for Flame before, so you know.
Yeah, mute. But yeah,
There's
Palom or Rydia would have loved that. But
This-
I mean,
this game has too
at
much
the end
knowledge.
of the day, it's not the end of the world. You got through all the fights well.
I needed cash, mute knife, big money, unga bunga, so I sold it.
I also want to
That's
shout
it.
out your back row Yang.
Yeah, Jack's not gonna die. This is it. I want it.
He may not be able to do as much damage as he could, but that's okay because
Listen.
he's not gonna die.
In the center slot with those focuses, he was pulling
actually
some
doing pretty
constant
well.
punches, right?
He could have been doing better, but he was doing pretty well.
Yeah, he was doing pretty well and he didn't die. Cut claw, pretty good, very nice.
I mean, I maybe would have wanted to keep like Rydia safe, but oh well, it worked. It was just very amusing that it was like, oh, Yang's still in the back row. Yang is
Also-
still in the back row. It's fine.
Shoutouts to Dragon Slaying equipment. Please, if you see a Dragon Whip or
Yes,
anything, buy it,
that
get it,
dragon was
save it,
huge
treasure
for
it.
you.
They're all really good, all of them.
Yeah. Radical was able to neutralize a little bit of that with the Dragoon Lance, but
Yeah,
it was still,
it's so nice.
yeah. No, but
I could talk about this day for like 2 more hours, but I don't think we have that time.
it was truly a wild feud.
Mhm.
But yeah, GG's once again. Deathlike, do you have
Thanks.
any questions for Alchemy?
Is there anything in the seed that you saw where was interesting? Because especially with the seed making you do pretty much everything, practically, full clearing, getting all the key items essentially. Like, just
I mean, interesting is kind of a loaded word because this whole seed experience was very interesting. So if I had to pick something that was interesting, was the twin harp at the end of Sod that made me cackle out loud. I wish my mic was on. It wasn't because I know better, but I cackled. Yeah, like a villain. Like I was like, ah, 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 ah. So that was fun. That was very interesting.
the seed has to have jokes.
Ooh.
That's how it plays itself.
Mm-hmm. But
And-
honestly, I think I played pretty okay, aside from some mishaps and some missed inputs, like always. I routed the seed well because I do whatever I want, and apparently the seed was wacky, and I'm wacky, so it worked out, and that's it. Yay.
nothing wrong with having Seed having a bit of your humor, that
Yup.
a bit of your personality. That's nothing wrong with that, because every Seed can be just like that, and that's great.
Indeed.
And that's great.
Well, take care, everyone. I'll be going out right about now.
You go to bed, Alchemy. It's
Yep,
late for
that's
you.
the idea. Maybe I'll sleep soon. Who knows? That's the mystery. Take care, everyone. See ya.
GG's again, Alchemy.
Yeah. Well, that is going to do it for us here on Free Enterprise for right now. But we do have more races coming up on right here on this channel. In just a little over half an hour, we have another race getting started, a twin cast between races between Zalde and E-Ninja and Blaze and Ike here at 8 p.m. Eastern, so just over half an hour. And then at 10 p.m. Eastern over on Free Enterprise 2, we will have the twin cast Rudude Attitude versus Golbez, and Golbez. That's Elven Sorrow versus Y2 Sky, and Skarn versus Aryan over on FE2 at 10 p.m. Eastern. But for right now, we'll be sending you over to Gar, who is playing a Moonveil Mixer Seed to tide you over until our twin casts later tonight. Until then, I've been Xenocat. I've been joined in the booth by Deathlike, Scala on restreaming, Fiery Blizzard on tracking. Shoutouts again to our racers Alchemy and CSRadical, and I'll hope to see you next stream.
See you all next Seed.